This is a divine warning. God is calling some of you to stop 5 things right now if you want to follow His lead. This is not condemnation, it's protection. It's not a threat, it's an invitation to align. Listen carefully. Learn to recognize God's peace as a guide. Colossians 3:15. When the heart is quiet and surrendered, you'll know more than 1,000 opinions can tell you. If this is landing with you, comment one word. Stop. And name which of these you'll quit. Stay with me. Stop ignoring the quiet peace God gives. You keep searching for flashy signs, dramatic confirmations, or loud confirmations from others, while the small, steady peace inside is being ignored. That inner peace is not accidental, it's a signal. When Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts," it calls you to let that calm be a governor on your decisions. What this looks like, you pace through choices, oscillating between panic and prayer, always waiting for someone else to validate what God already whispered. What to do instead? Practice silence. Sit with God for 5 minutes and ask, "Am I at peace about this?" If the answer is yes, move in humility. If not, don't manufacture noise. Wait and pray until the peace comes. Stop forcing closed doors and straining to make things happen by your own control. You hustle, manipulate circumstances, or press every angle until something bends your way. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us that the heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Forcing doors may get you movement, but not God's movement. Signs you're forcing, persistent exhaustion, a pattern of justifying means by the end, or relationships frayed because you pushed too hard. What to do instead? Step back and ask for redirection. Release urgency into prayer and watch for clear external confirmations, doors that open without you having to tear them down. Stop waiting for total certainty before you move. Faith does not always wait for full clarity, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat. He didn't have perfect knowledge, but he responded to Jesus' call with a step. Waiting for certainty can become a form of disobedience disguised as prudence. What this looks like: years of preparation without a first step, or refusing small acts of obedience until the entire path is lit. What to do instead? Take one obedient step that requires trust, but not recklessness. Small obedience produces clarity. Obedience invites God to bring more light. Stop avoiding the discomfort God uses to stretch you. Growth often arrives through tension. When God is enlarging your life, you'll feel resistance. The familiar becomes uncomfortable because something new is forming. This is not necessarily punishment. It's the furnace for faith. What it looks like: you resist learning, avoid hard conversations, or choose comfort over spiritual maturity. You might feel unsettled, but that unrest can be the pressure that forges character. What to do instead? Lean into the stretch with prayer and community. Name one discomfort you're dodging and invite a trusted believer to walk with you through it. Stop dismissing repeated nudges and recurring confirmations. God often repeats himself. When a verse keeps surfacing, the same message comes through multiple people, or the same conviction returns. Take it seriously. Scripture recognizes witnesses. For the 3rd time I am ready to come to you. 2 Corinthians 13:1 speaks to the weight of repeated testimony. What this looks like: you shrug off a warning, tell yourself it's coincidence, and continue unchanged. Repetition is not always coincidence. It's often a summons. What to do instead? When the pattern appears, respond. Respond by confessing, by changing course, or by taking a simple action that acknowledges the warning. Hold these 5 stops together. God speaks inwardly and confirms outwardly. He gives peace as a compass, closes and opens doors as signs, uses discomfort to form you, repeats himself to get your attention, and calls you to obey even before every detail is clear. These are not contradictory. They are the pattern of how God leads. You do not have to be perfect to begin obeying. You do not have to have every guarantee to take the step God asks. Maybe you recognize one or more of these in your life right now. Which of these will you stop immediately? Don't intellectualize it. Make a one-word commitment. Write it down. Tell someone. Comment the word stop and the habit you'll quit. This simple act is a small obedience that honors what God is doing. A short practical example. A woman felt pressured to launch a ministry before she had peace about the team. She forced the launch, burned out, and relationships suffered. When she paused, asked God for peace, and waited for clearer doors to open, the ministry restarted healthier and sustained longer. This is not a promise that waiting always equals success. It's a pattern. Peace guides, open doors confirm, repeated nudges summon, and obedience unlocks the path. Now a brief prayer. Lord, give us courage to stop what is keeping us from your best. Grant us the peace to recognize your voice, the humility to release control, the boldness to step when you call, the grace to endure growing pains, and the sensitivity to respond when you repeat your word. Help us obey even when we aren't certain, trusting that you lead well. If this hit you, subscribe and share this message with someone God might be warning. Watch the next video where we talk about how to discern a closed door versus a delayed door. Practical steps to test what God is saying. Go now and stop what you need to stop. Trust the peace, follow the confirmation, obey the call,